Hey everyone, Sam here from Silly Stories for Kids. Guess what? Here's another story made up on the spot just for you. We hope you enjoy it. Okay, let's go. One day, 3 little kids named Hannah, Joshua and Flynn were all sitting at home in their kitchen. Now, it was time for breakfast and they were starting to pour out some cereal. I'm going to have rice bubbles, said Hannah. Ooh, I'm going to have cornflakes, said Joshua. Weet-Bix for me, said Flynn. The kids started pouring out their cereal into a bowl each. One by one, their bowls got filled with the cereal that they were wanting. Can you get the milk, please, Hannah, said Joshua. Sure. She raced to the fridge and opened it up, and she pulled out the milk bottle. I haven't seen this brand before, she said. She looked on the front, and on the front of the milk bottle, there was a fuzzy purple face. That's an interesting picture. Oh, well. She walked back over and handed the milk to Joshua. Okay, so here we go. He started to try and pour the milk into his bowl, but as he did, something very, very strange happened. Hannah, he said. Yes, Joshua, she said, looking at what was happening. Why is my milk flying? Sure enough, as Joshua was trying to tip the milk into his bowl, it was coming out and floating. It was floating around the room and would not go into his bowl. I think you might be pouring it wrong, she said. Hang on, let me have a try. So Hannah took the milk bottle and started pouring it into her bowl. As she tipped, uh-oh, she said. Instead of going down, the milk came out the bottle and started going up. In no time at all, there was a little bit of milk floating around the room. Something strange is going on here, she said. My turn, said Flynn. Flynn grabbed the milk bottle and started tipping. He didn't tip just a little bit, he started tipping a lot of it, and all of it started pouring out into the kitchen. Flynn, you're spilling it on the... Well, he's not spilling it, it's going into the air. The kids were looking and they were watching because now the entire bottle of milk was now floating around their kitchen. All the milk was all over the place and they didn't know what to do. Well, said Joshua, if the milk won't come to my cereal, I'll bring my cereal to the milk. He picked up his bowl and started trying to scoop some of the milk out of the air. As he scooped, he caught some in his bowl, but his cereal started tipping all over the ground. I'll try this one, said Hannah. She found a big bubble of the milk that was floating in the air, and she took her bowl of cereal and tipped it over the top of the milk. Sure enough, the cereal went through and it got milky and then dropped onto the bench. I'm not sure I want to eat it like that. Flynn had his Weet-Bix and was running around trying to hit the milk with it. I'm going to hit this one, he said. Pfft, the milk bubble would splutter into tiny little droplets. Oh, I'm going to hit this one. Pfft, oh dear. Flynn, you're making a mess, said Hannah. Flynn was laughing and giggling as he smashed all the little milk bubbles into tiny little bits. That looks like fun, said Joshua. He grabbed 2 spoons and started trying to smack the milk around as well. Psh, 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 psh. The more they hit, the smaller the bubbles got, until all the milk in the room was completely blasted into tiny little droplets. What is going on, said Hannah. In no time at all, she decided to join in the fun as well. So there was 3 kids running around the kitchen, smashing little milk bubbles into tiny little milk droplets. It was so much fun. While all this was happening, they didn't notice somebody was creeping into the kitchen. Dum, 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 dum. Hannah turned around and she saw a purple fuzzy creature hiding behind the kitchen bench. Ah, she said. Who are you? Hello. Hey, you're the face on the milk bottle, said Joshua. Hello, yes, it is me, the Pim Pim. Hi, Pim Pim, said Hannah. What are you doing here? Well, I see you have found my bottle of magic milk. Magic milk, said Joshua. Is that why it's flying? Yes, it is very fun when it flies like this. And guess what? You need to start eating it because it is very, very tasty. Oh, okay, said the kids. So they started moving around the room and eating the bubbles one by one. Ooh, it is tasty, said Joshua. Yes, said Hannah, this is delicious. They kept munching and munching until, Hannah, said Flynn. Yes, Flynn, what's the problem? I can't move. What do you mean you can't move? I can't move, said Flynn. Hannah and Josh looked across at Flynn. Flynn, I think I know why you can't move. Why, said Flynn. He looked down. My feet, they're not on the ground anymore. Oh, I think the milk is making you float too. As Hannah was talking, Josh took another mouthful of the milk bubbles and, I'm floating as well, he said. I can't get down. Oh, I better be careful, said Hannah. I don't want to get floaty as well, or else I won't be able to help you. She walked over towards her brothers and she could feel herself being a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter. Uh-oh, I'm very close. Hang on, hold still, boys. I think I can help. She got closer and closer and closer, and as she was about to help Josh, she tripped on a fork. Ow, she said. As her mouth opened, she caught 3 more bubbles of milk in her mouth and, oh no, I'm floating as well, she said. There were 3 kids floating around the kitchen, and Pim Pim was jumping around. Yippee! Okay, kids, it's time to have the real fun. Okay, everybody is floating. Now, what's this? He said. Pim Pim walked up behind Flynn and gave him a push. Wow, said Flynn as he started moving towards the edge of the kitchen. He was heading straight towards the cupboards, and when he hit them, boing, he bounced and started moving back towards the other kids. Look at me, said Flynn. Whoa, said Josh. Flynn, you're coming straight towards me. Boop. Flynn bumped straight into Josh, and now Josh was moving around the kitchen as well. Whoa, I can't control it, said Josh. He moved straight towards the wall and bounced off and then hit another wall, and he was heading straight towards Pim Pim. Said Pim Pim as he ducked underneath Josh. Hello, Jesse! Josh was laughing and he couldn't control where he was floating. He bounced towards another wall and then was heading straight towards Hannah. Josh, said Hannah, you're coming straight towards me. I know, said Josh, but I can't move. He was going and going and going until, boop, Flynn came from the other side and bumped Hannah straight out of the way. Said Hannah. Then Josh crashed into Flynn. Boom. In no time at all, the 3 kids were all bouncing around the kitchen with magic milk in their tummies. Whippy, said Pim Pim. I want to come too. Pim Pim started running around, eating bubbles of milk, and in no time at all, he was floating as well. And all the kids came straight towards him. Yippee! Okay, here we go, said Pim Pim. And they all bumped into each other. They were flying around the room. It was very, very funny. I think I know what to do, said Hannah. She reached out and grabbed hold of the tap. If I hold on, I might be able to pull myself back down. Hannah started to pull, and as she did, the tap came apart and water started spraying into the kitchen. Oh no, said Hannah, it's going everywhere. Josh and Flynn were laughing and laughing as they floated around the kitchen, and Pim Pim was bouncing off the walls trying to get faster with every bump. Flynn was watching Pim Pim and thought that looked fun as well. He started trying to get faster and faster as well. Boing, 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 boing. Flynn, you're going too fast. Be careful. Whoosh. Flynn went straight out the window. Uh-oh, said Josh. Big uh-oh, said Hannah. Yes, said Pim Pim. I think we should probably try and go get him. But how are we going to go get him, said Hannah. We can't control where we're bouncing, she said. Oh, dear, said Josh, what are we going to do? Well, we can use the puffy pens. What are the puffy pens? Said Hannah. Well, here you go. He handed one to Hannah. What does this do? She looked at the pen. It had a clicker on one end, but there was nothing out the other end. Oh, I must have to click it open. Oh, be careful, said Pim Pim. As she was holding it, she clicked, and a giant puff of air burst out the other end, straight towards Josh. Wow, said Josh as he got blasted to the other side of the kitchen. But Hannah got moved as well. Wow, it's like a rocket booster. Oh, can I have one, said Josh as he was spinning around the kitchen. Pim Pim threw a pen towards him and Josh caught it. You need 2 to be able to control it properly. He threw another one towards Josh, and Josh grabbed hold, and then Hannah grabbed another one as well. Okay, now hold them like they're ski poles. Oh, okay, so they held the pens either side of them like ski poles. Now, press the buttons gently, said Pim Pim. Okay, said the kids, and they started to press them slowly. As they did, air started to blow out the pens. The puffy pens started helping them control where they were going. There was like little joysticks that controlled the air behind them. Wow, said Hannah, I can control where I'm going. Me too, said Josh. Okay, now we got to go get the Flinny. Oh, yeah, said Josh. Quick, let's go. So Hannah, Josh, and Pim Pim all started to blast out the window in the direction that Flynn had been flying. As they were zooming through the sky, they were trying to keep an eye out for wherever Flynn could be. They blasted and they blasted. I can't see him, said Hannah. Me either, said Josh. As they were going, they saw a bird flying in the sky next to them. Hello, Mr. Birdie, said Pim Pim. The bird looked across. Have you seen the little boy flipping and spinning out of control floating in this direction? The bird looked. It said, and it pointed its wing over towards a tree. Hannah, Josh, and Pim Pim all looked across. There, caught in the tree, was Flynn, they yelled. Help, said Flynn, help! Okay, let's go that way. So the kids blasted across to where Flynn was, and they went over to the tree. Flynn, are you okay? Said Hannah. I'm fine, I'm just stuck, he said. Don't worry, said Josh, we'll get you out. So they grabbed hold of Flynn and used their puffy pens to blast away from the tree. Once again, Flynn was free and floating around in the air. Hooray, they yelled. All right, we better get back into the house before Mum notices we're gone. Pim Pim handed Flynn 2 of the puffy pens. Okay, Flynn, now you need to be very careful with the... Flynn started blasting in all different directions. Wah! He said. The kids were laughing, watching him zoom around in all different directions, and he had caught Pim Pim by the foot, and Pim Pim was getting flicked around everywhere. It was very, very funny, until Flynn eventually let go of the pens once more. Oh my goodness, that was ridiculous, said Pim Pim. That was fun, said Josh. Can we have a turn? No, we got to get going. Quick, quick, quick. The kids all grabbed their puffy pens and blasted straight back towards where their house was. They zoomed in through the window. Uh-oh, said Hannah. I forgot about the tap. The kitchen tap was soaking water everywhere, and the kitchen was starting to flood. Oh dear, what are we going to do, said Josh. Don't worry, said Pim Pim. I have more gadgets ready to go. Pim Pim started pulling all kinds of things out of his pockets, little balls and little boxes and all kinds of toys. He threw them around the room. They all started to work together. They soaked up all the water, they cleaned up all the area, they caught all the milk and put it all back inside the bottle. In no time at all, the kitchen looked brand new. The kids all sat down back at their seats and their cereal returned to its bowls. Then Pim Pim grabbed a different bottle of milk and poured a little bit into each bowl. Okay, kids, there you go. Okay, enjoy your breakfast. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye. Pim Pim jumped out the window and held onto his puffy pens and he was gone. Just then, the kid's mum walked in through the door. Wow, kids, this kitchen's so clean. How did you get it so clean? She said. Well, said Hannah, I don't think you'd believe us, even if we told you. And that is the end of the story. This episode is brought to you by Pim Pim's Magic Milk. It comes from the magic cows of Pim Pimponia, the only place where you can get the magic floaty milk that is tasty and helps you fly hasty. Woohoo! We hope that you have been enjoying the series Stories for Kids. Make sure to leave a review wherever you find your podcast and share it with all of your friends. This has been me, the Pim Pim. And me, Sam. We'll see you soon.